Oh Hyun Kyung's journey is a roller coaster of triumph, scandal, and resilience that'll keep you hooked. From a beauty queen's crown to a career-defining storm, she's lived a life few could imagine. In this video, we dive into her rise as South Korea's sweetheart, the 1998 scandal that nearly broke her, and how she clawed her way back to the spotlight. It's a story of grit, grace, and second chances you won't want to miss. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on more exciting content about the dark side of famous stars around the world. And now, let's get started. Oh Hyun Kyung's story begins in Seoul, South Korea, where she was born on March 25, 1970. Under the name Oh Sang-ji, growing up in a bustling city, she carried a spark that would eventually light up screens across the country. Her early years were typical of many young women in South Korea, filled with school and dreams of something bigger. But it wasn't until 1989 that her life took a dramatic turn. That year, at just 19 years old, she entered the Miss Korea beauty pageant. With her striking looks and poise, she didn't just compete, she won. The crown wasn't just a shiny accessory, it was a ticket to a world she'd only imagined. Suddenly, she wasn't just Oh Sang-ji anymore. She became Oh Hyun Kyung, a name that would soon echo through living rooms nationwide. Winning Miss Korea flung open doors she hadn't even knocked on yet. In 1990, she took her newfound fame to the global stage, representing South Korea at the Miss Universe pageant. The spotlight was blinding and she soaked it in. Back home, her victory made her an instant celebrity. Television producers couldn't get enough of her. Offers poured in, and she didn't hesitate to dive into acting. Adopting her stage name full-time, she stepped onto the set of her first drama, a fresh face with a crown still gleaming in the public's mind. Her charm and natural talent shone through, and it didn't take long for viewers to fall for her. She had a knack for bringing characters to life, whether they were sweet and relatable or layered with complexity. The 1990s became her playground. Drama after drama, she built a career that made her a household name. She wasn't just a beauty queen turned actress. She was good at it. Directors loved her versatility, and audiences adored her presence. Between takes, she even found time to dip her toes into teaching. For a brief stint, she served as an adjunct professor at Gwangju Communication Arts College, sharing her insights with eager students. It was a surprising move, but it showed her depth. She wasn't content to just ride the wave of fame. She wanted to leave a mark in more ways than one. Her days were packed, juggling scripts and lectures, proving she could handle the hustle of a rising star. As the decade rolled on, Oh Hyun Kyung's star only climbed higher. She landed roles in popular shows, each one cementing her status as a go-to actress. Her face became a familiar sight on South Korean television, a blend of grace and grit that kept viewers hooked. Off-screen, her life was just as busy. In 2001, she returned to South Korea after a short time abroad, ready to pick up where she'd left off. The following year, she quietly tied the knot with Hong Sung-pyo, a big name in business who ran Kamongsa, a company that inspired a character in the hit drama Hotelier. It was a low-key wedding, but word got out, and fans buzzed about her new chapter. A year later, in 2003, she welcomed a daughter, adding Mom to her growing list of roles. Motherhood didn't slow her down. In 2004, she jumped into the business world, launching a golf fashion line. It was a bold move, trading scripts for sketches of stylish sportswear, but she pulled it off with the same confidence she brought to acting. For a while, it seemed like she could do no wrong. She was juggling family, a new venture, and the lingering glow of her entertainment career. But life had curveballs waiting. Her marriage hit rough waters when her husband faced legal trouble in 2004, accused of embezzlement. The headlines weren't kind, and by 2006, the couple called it quits. Divorce wasn't easy, especially with a young daughter in tow. But Oh Hyun Kyung kept her head high. Even with her personal life shifting, she didn't stay out of the game long. In 2007, she made a triumphant return to television with First Wives Club. a melodrama that reminded everyone why they'd loved her in the first place. The show was a hit, and she slipped back into the industry like she'd never left. From there, it was a steady stream of roles: High Kick Through the Roof, Gloria, Miss Ajuma, and The Great Seer, to name a few. Each project showcased her ability to adapt, whether she was playing a warm mother or a sharp-tongued schemer. She had a way of making every character feel real, drawing viewers in with every line. Her comeback wasn't just a fluke, it was a full-on resurgence. She kept the momentum going with shows like She Is Wow and Wang's Family, proving she could still command the screen. In Four Legendary Witches, she dazzled again. And by the time The Bird That Sheds No Tears aired, it was clear she'd built a legacy. Her career wasn't a straight line, but that's what made it hers. From a beauty queen in a glittering sash to a seasoned actress with a golf brand on the side, Oh Hyun Kyung carved out a path that was as unpredictable as it was impressive. Through it all, she stayed true to herself. A woman who could wear a crown, raise a daughter, and steal a scene with equal ease. Oh Hyun Kyung's life took a sharp turn in 1998 when the glitz of her rising career crashed into a scandal that shook South Korea. By then, she was no stranger to the spotlight. She'd gone from Miss Korea to a beloved actress, her face lighting up television screens across the country. But fame has a way of amplifying mistakes, and hers became a headline that wouldn't fade. It started with whispers, rumors swirling among industry insiders and curious fans. Then, like a storm breaking, a video surfaced, a private moment that was never meant for public eyes. In an era before smartphones and social media, this was still a bombshell. And it hit her world like a wrecking ball. The tape wasn't just gossip fodder, it was a full-blown invasion. Recorded without her consent, it captured her in an intimate encounter with a man later identified as her boyfriend at the time. How it leaked remains murky. Some pointed fingers at a jilted ex, others at someone looking to cash in on her fame. Whatever the source, the damage was instant. Copies spread like wildfire. First on VHS tapes passed hand to hand, then onto the early internet, where grainy clips found a new audience. For a country still steeped in conservative values, this was more than a scandal. It was a cultural shockwave. Oh Hyun Kyung, the poised beauty queen turned star, was suddenly at the center of a firestorm she couldn't control. The public's reaction was a mixed bag. Some fans felt betrayed, as if her polished image had been a lie. Others rallied behind her, furious that her privacy had been stolen. But sympathy didn't stop the chatter. Tabloids feasted on the story, splashing her name across front pages with little regard for the human cost. Television stations replayed old interviews, dissecting her every word for hints of scandal. Her dramas, once a source of pride, became fuel for late-night talk shows. The media didn't just report, they judged. She was labeled everything from a victim to a villain, her talent overshadowed by a single, stolen moment. Her career took a brutal hit. Producers who'd once clamored for her now hesitated. Offers dried up, and the roles she'd worked so hard to earn vanished overnight. The industry wasn't kind to women caught in controversies, especially one this explosive. She'd spent years building a reputation, proving she was more than a pretty face, only to watch it crumble. Friends in the business grew distant, unsure how to navigate the fallout. For a while, it seemed like the Oh Hyun Kyung everyone knew might disappear entirely. The weight of it all pushed her out of South Korea. She left for the United States, seeking a breather from the relentless scrutiny. Stateside, she kept a low profile. Away from flashing cameras and prying eyes, she tried to piece herself back together. It wasn't a glamorous exile, more like a quiet retreat. She enrolled in classes, brushing up on English, and taking a stab at a fresh start. But even an ocean away, the scandal followed her. The internet, still in its clumsy infancy, made sure her name stayed tied to that tape. Back home, the story refused to die. It became a reference point, a cautionary tale whispered about in entertainment circles. She wasn't just a person anymore. She was a headline, a topic for debate over dinner tables and in coffee shops. The legal side of things added another layer of chaos. Oh Hyun Kyung didn't stay silent forever. She fought back, filing lawsuits against those she believed were behind the leak. It was a bold move, but the courts were a slog. Proving who'd done it and how was a tangle of dead ends and denials. South Korea's laws on privacy and revenge porn weren't as robust then as they are now, leaving her with little recourse. The man in the video, a businessman she dated, faced his own share of heat, but the focus stayed on her. Society's double standards were glaring. She bore the shame while he faded into the background. Her personal life unraveled too. The relationship at the heart of the tape didn't survive the fallout. Trust was shattered, and the public betrayal only deepened the wound. She'd always been private about her romances, but now every past fling was fair game for speculation. Friends said she grew wary, retreating into a shell to shield herself from more pain. Her family stood by her, offering a lifeline when the world felt hostile. Still, the isolation was real. She'd been a star who thrived on connection. Now she was dodging it, unsure who to lean on. The scandal's ripple effects stretched beyond her. It sparked a national conversation about privacy, consent, and the price of fame. Women's groups pointed to her case as a glaring example of how society punishes women more harshly than men. Columnists wrote think pieces, some defending her, others wagging fingers. It wasn't just about Oh Hyun Kyung, it was about what her downfall said about South Korea. The country was modernizing fast, but old attitudes lingered. Her story forced people to wrestle with that tension, even if they didn't all land on her side. Time didn't erase the tape, but it dulled the frenzy. By the early 2000s, the initial outrage had settled into a low hum. Oh Hyun Kyung wasn't on screens anymore, but she wasn't forgotten. The video still popped up in dark corners of the web, a stubborn ghost of 1998. For her, it was a wound that wouldn't fully heal. She'd been a trailblazer, a beauty queen who'd conquered television, only to become a punching bag for a scandal she didn't create. The years abroad gave her space to breathe, but they couldn't undo the damage. She'd lost roles, relationships, and a chunk of her confidence. When she finally came back to South Korea in 2001, it wasn't with fanfare. She slipped in quietly, testing the waters. The industry had moved on, filling her old spots with new faces. Fans still remembered her, some with nostalgia, others with smirks. The scandal had branded her, fair or not. She could have walked away for good, plenty would have. But something kept her tethered to the life she'd built. Maybe it was stubbornness, maybe it was love for the craft. Either way, 1998 didn't end her. It broke her stride, scattered her plans, and left scars she'd carry forever. But Oh Hyun Kyung wasn't done yet. Oh Hyun Kyung's return to South Korea in 2001 wasn't the grand comeback of a fallen star. It was a quiet step back into a world that had changed while she was away. The scandal of 1998 had left its mark, a shadow that trailed her every move. But she wasn't ready to let it define her forever. She'd spent time in the United States, gathering herself, and now she was home, determined to reclaim her place. The industry wasn't waiting with open arms, though. New actresses had taken the spotlight, and her name still carried whispers of that old tape. Yet, she didn't slink away. She started small, testing the waters with guest spots and minor roles, feeling out whether audiences would give her another shot. Her real breakthrough came in 2007 with First Wives Club. It was a melodrama, the kind South Korea loves, and she threw herself into it. Playing a woman scorned but resilient, she struck a chord. Viewers saw echoes of her own story in the character, someone battered by life but still standing. The show was a hit, running for over 100 episodes and pulling in huge ratings. Suddenly, Oh Hyun Kyung wasn't just a scandal survivor, she was a working actress again. Producers took notice. Offers trickled in, then flowed. She'd clawed her way back, proving she could still hold a screen and win over a crowd. The years that followed were a steady climb. She jumped into High Kick Through the Roof in 2009, a sitcom that showed off her lighter side. Then came Gloria in 2010, a drama about chasing dreams against the odds. Each role built on the last, letting her stretch her range. She played mothers, schemers, and everything in between, always with a spark that reminded people why they'd loved her before. By 2011, Miss Ajuma had her leading a cast, a sign she wasn't just a comeback story, she was a mainstay. Her work in The Great Seer and Wang's Family kept the momentum going, each project adding to a resume that now spanned decades. Her personal life settled too. After her divorce in 2006, she focused on raising her daughter, born in 2003. Being a single mom wasn't easy, especially with her ex-husband's legal mess still lingering in the public's memory. But she kept her family out of the headlines, shielding her daughter from the chaos she'd faced. The golf fashion line she'd started in 2004 faded away, a casualty of her shifting priorities, but she didn't need it. Acting was her anchor now, and it paid off. She wasn't chasing fame anymore, she was building a life, one role at a time. The scandal never fully disappeared though. Even as she racked up credits, it hovered in the background. Younger fans might not know the details, but older ones remembered. The internet kept it alive, with clips and comments popping up now and then. She didn't talk about it much. In rare interviews, she'd brush it off, saying she'd moved on. Her actions backed that up. She didn't lean on the past for sympathy or attention. She let her work speak instead. That quiet strength won her respect, even from those who'd once turned away. By the 2010s, South Korea's entertainment scene had evolved. Scandals still broke stars, but the public was quicker to forgive, especially with social media amplifying comebacks. Oh Hyun Kyung benefited from that shift. Her steady output, shows like Four Legendary Witches and The Bird That Sheds No Tears, kept her relevant. She wasn't the ingenue anymore, but she didn't need to be. She'd grown into a seasoned actress, the kind directors could count on to deliver. Her beauty, still striking, now carried the weight of experience, making her a natural for complex, meaty roles. Today, in 2025, Oh Hyun Kyung is still at it. She's in her mid-50s, an age when many actresses see doors close, but she's kept hers wide open. Recent projects have her playing matriarchs and mentors, roles that fit her like a glove. She's not chasing trends or trying to recapture her youth. She's owning where she's at. Off-screen, she's a grandmother now, her daughter having started a family of her own. She dotes on her grandchild, balancing set life with quiet moments at home. It's a far cry from the chaos of 1998, and she seems to savor the calm. Her legacy is a mixed one. To some, she'll always be tied to that scandal, a footnote in tabloid history. But to others, she's a survivor who turned the page. She didn't let one dark chapter erase her story. Instead, she wrote new ones, piling up over 20 years of roles since her return. The industry has changed around her. Streaming platforms and global audiences have replaced the old TV dynasty. But she's adapted, staying in the game while others faded. Her daughter's grown up seeing a mom who didn't quit, and that might be her proudest win. Oh Hyun Kyung's current situation is steady, not flashy. She's not headlining blockbusters or trending online, but she's working, respected, and living on her terms. The scandal's a distant echo now, drowned out by a career that refused to end. She's not a cautionary tale or a comeback cliche. She's just herself, a woman who fell, got up, and kept going. And in a world that loves to tear people down, that's no small thing. Oh, Hyun Kyung's tale doesn't end with a fall. It's a comeback that proves strength beats scandal every time. From the ashes of 1998, she rebuilt a career and life that inspire us all. We've walked through her highs, lows, and everything since. And now it's your turn to weigh in. What do you think of her journey? Drop a comment below and let us know. Don't miss a beat. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for more stories of stars who defy the odds. Hit that bell icon, and we'll see you in the next video.